This Stroud narrative is weird.
That would be Sarge.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You tuned to the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast. I'm your host, Big Sarge. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with a Z at the end. Follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Make sure you're subscribed to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. All one word, Texans Tailgate Talk. Let me fix that. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Because you know we do everything for the gram. What's going on, y'all? So you all know that for the most part, when I do these podcasts, those of you all who are on this audio journey with me, I really, really, really enjoy doing these shows live. And when I do the shows live, that means that the supporters of Big Sarge Media, Sports Talk with Big Sarge, Texas Tailgate Talk, Buzz and Petty, they all join in, and we talk on this on this show. We talk on this podcast. We're back and forth. And when I come back from West Virginia, once the Texans, West Virginia and Minnesota, because they're going to be in West Virginia. And then once they leave West Virginia, they're going straight to Minnesota for their preseason game. And then I'll be back. And once I get back, I already have everything set up for the call-in line. I have everything set up for the call-in line. I have everything set up for me to be able to take calls from, from people. That was weird. Why would you do that, Sarge? That was weird. Anyway, so for those of you all who are on this audio journey with me, I just want you to know that don't freak out when you hear me acknowledging, people who are watching this show live, who are supporting me and giving me their time. I tell you all a lot that the most valuable possession a human being has is time, because it's the one thing that you could never get back. So for individuals to spend that time with me, to give me that time to hear me ramble on this microphone, I really appreciate it. So with that being said, Alexis, good morning. Going to be a training camp tomorrow morning. Hey, let me know. Let me know. I'm going to have on my Texas Tailgate Talk shirt. Single me out. Say, hey, get Sarge. And I'm going to come over there because I would love to get a chance to meet you. D Skills, when you coming out? I'll be at camp on Saturday as long as it's not raining. All right, D Skills, I'll see you there. Good morning to you as well. Ashley Knuckles, man, I'm so glad. Hey, look, let me tell y'all something. Ashley Knuckles, he be holding me accountable too, like Queena. Hey, Sarge, where you at? Sarge, where you at? What you talking about today, Sarge? Sarge, where you at? What you talking about? I appreciate that too, because for the support that I get outweighs the hate that I get. I'm gonna tell you that right now. There's a lot of people who don't want to see Big Sarge Media, who don't want to see the Texans Tailgate Talk podcast, the Texans Happy Hour. They don't want to see that thrive. But the amount of support that I get compared to the amount of hate that I see, and that's only what I see, because I don't see a lot, because I've totally removed. I tell people that you are in control of your own social media. So if you're going to be stressed out, that's just because you're going to be stressed out. Hey, y'all give me a second right quick. Now, I know I'm too dark of a brother to not have done this. Y'all hold on one second. That's a lot better, right? We like, so we can see your ugly, big head. We can see you, Sarge. So once again, Tina, I'll be bringing my little 7-year-old to camp tomorrow. Y'all find me. Hey, look, I'm gonna bring some water bottles out so I can see if I can give those away. What's up, Amy Taylor? Amy Taylor joining the Texas Tailgate Talk Show. All right, I got to jump right into this thing, y'all, because it's weird. It's weird. It's weird that we're back again, once again, talking about C.J. Stroud. It's weird that we're doing Straoudgate again. You did Straoudgate through OTAs. You did Straoudgate through minicamp until he finally, threw some passes. And now you're doing Straoudgate again in training camp. In OTAs, not every, but there was a lot of people who were in an uproar, a lot of fans, a lot of local media members in an uproar because CJ Stroud didn't throw through OTAs. Oh, and now all the speculation starts to come in that maybe CJ's hurt. Man, CJ might be hurt. CJ might be hurt. CJ wasn't hurt. Told you. I came right here on this show, on this podcast, and told you CJ's not hurt. He's not hurt. He's just not throwing. They didn't want to hear that. All right. Minicamp start. How many days has it been since CJ last threw a pass? Stand down. Y'all are doing entirely too much. Calm down. He's going to throw. Just give him an opportunity. And then I came on. Now, look, let me tell you something. I didn't have all of the information on what day CJ was going to throw through mandatory minicamp. I just knew that CJ was going to throw during mandatory minicamp. I didn't know which day. And I think that I came on here and I told you all that I didn't know when he was going to throw. I just knew he was going to throw because the information that I was getting was, ain't nothing wrong with CJ. Nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with CJ. He's just getting himself together and getting himself ramped up to get ready to go into training camp. So CJ finally threw at mandatory minicamp, and then all of a sudden, people calmed down just a little bit. But now we're back to CJ's taking limited reps in training camp. Something may be wrong with his shoulder. Other narratives out there about CJ and him, as far as training camp is concerned. And I'm saying to myself, hey, we can't be doing this. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I got a lot of respect for my colleagues. Some of them I'm cordial with, not friendly, cordial. Doesn't take anything to be cordial. You don't always have to be friendly. I'm cordial with a lot of people. I'm just not friendly with a lot of people. That's not by my own doing. That's because the precedent they set, and I follow that precedent. Hey, we ain't gonna be friendly. I'm cool with that. I can be cordial. It takes me nothing to say good morning, how you doing, and keep it moving. We ain't got to sit there and chop it up about your families. We ain't got to sit there and chop it up about how your day was. We ain't got to do all that. We're cordial with each other and keep it moving. So I'm cordial with all of my colleagues. I'm friendly with some of my colleagues. And so I say that to say this. Because I'm pretty sure within the next 2 days, which means today is an off day for the Houston Texans. It's currently Thursday. They come back Friday at an open practice, come back Saturday at an open practice. So I'm pretty sure that I'm going to hear about what I'm doing right now. There's going to be some people that's going to come at me and say, I can't believe you said that, or I can't believe you did that. And I'm going to say to myself, well, I don't understand. How can the narrative be thrown out there and nobody say anything about it? So can people just throw narratives out and then you're not supposed to comment on it? Hell, when I throw things out, when I say things, it's open to interpretation, open to criticism, open to praise, whichever one you want to do. So as I digress, what CJ Stroud is going through is a revamp of the offensive playbook. What he's going through is a new offensive play caller. His first 2 years in the league, he had Bobby Slowick, and he learned that offensive system. He's going into year 3. Can we remember that? What's up, DJ Big Mac? Can we remember that? Can we remember that C.J. Stroud is going into year 3? And he's already on his second offensive system and his second offensive play caller, his second offensive coordinator in Nick Caley. So what you're seeing from C.J. Stroud in training camp is him getting acclimated to a new offensive system. It's not his rookie year where he learned everything at Ohio State coming out of college, and now he's coming into the league as a rookie, and he's learning how to play the NFL game, listening to a first-year play caller in Bobby Slowick. He's going into year 3. So now that year 3 preparation, and I don't know if many of you all remember, I asked him about what he did this offseason to prepare himself to come into year 3. And he said he learned that he had more time. He learned how to take more time for not only himself, but for his family and for it to get himself ready to come into the season, because he had only been involved in one offseason. And that was a whirlwind for him coming out of his rookie year. What's up, J-Rock? Coming out of his rookie year with the impressive rookie season that he had, winning the NFL Offensive Player of the Year. NFL Offensive Rookie Player of the Year, NFL Offensive Rookie Player of the Year. And it was a whirlwind. Everybody was pulling at CJ. And then he comes in to his second year, and, that was a long off season for him. Micah Parsons were everywhere. So this off season, he took time for himself, but to also make sure that he had his body right, to make sure that he had his mind right, and he had to learn another playbook. So he totally had to forget the majority of the things that he learned from Bobby Slowick, right? The majority of the things he learned from Bobby Slowick, he had to forget all of that and then learn in the midst of learning an entire system. And I'm used to hearing Bobby's voice in the room, him and I going through. The only constant thing that remains is Gerard Johnson. So I can get through Gerard to help me get through this process like he did my rookie year. But like CJ just met Nick Caley. I don't mean met him in training camp, but I mean just a couple of months ago. He just met Nick Caley when he got hired. And now they have to work together to get that system going. What's up, Senor Boble? They have to work together to get that system going, to get that offensive system going. So CJ's learning a new playbook. CJ's learning from a new offensive play caller and what he wants to do. And then the last thing is CJ has 4 brand new offensive linemen that he hasn't played with before. Titus Howard is the only constant on that offensive line. When they throw in Blake Fisher, okay, he played with Blake last year, so he knows Blake's tendencies at that right tackle position. When they put in Jared Patterson, he knows Jared Patterson from playing with him the last 2 years. But when they put in Jake Andrews, he's getting used. Jake Andrews as the center, he has to get used to that. This is a totally new left side for C.J. Stroud. Whole new Cam Robinson, a whole new left tackle, a whole new left guard. Left tackle Cam Robinson, left guard Laken Tomlinson. CJ don't know nothing about them. Not their tendencies, not their practice habits, not their game tendencies, not their game day tendencies, not their day-to-day activities. He's learning that, all the while learning everything else. And so he's got to make sure he knows what's going on his blind side. That's first and foremost. especially when you're going up against that defense. And at any given time, coming off that left side is either Danielle Hunter or Will Anderson Jr. So he doesn't have Laramie Tunsil there anymore, somebody that he was used to and knew that it was going to protect his blind side. Now he's like, all right, nothing against you, Cam Robinson. I just got to get to know you. Let's work together. CJ is trying to work together and work with these new offensive linemen. So when you start talking about the amount of passes that he's thrown in training camp, the amount of reps that he's taken in training camp, you also got to throw in that it's an open practice. So sure, you can get him some reps in there, but when they get to West Virginia, away from the hustle and bustle, away from having to do interviews with like the NFL Network, with the local radio, everybody's pulling these players here and there, they're going to get to totally focus on themselves like they did when they were in Ohio last year. And that's when I think that you're going to see them take that next step. And what I mean by them take that next step, I think that they're going to come up with a consistent 5 that they want to go into that Minnesota game with, where they're going to probably play like 1 or 2 series and then get everybody out so they can get other players in so they can evaluate them. But I don't know how, like, we can evaluate. And everybody, look, I've come on this show and I've come on the Texas Happy Hour and said, hey, defense is making life tough for C.J. Stroud. Hey, C.J. threw an interception. Kalen Bullock should have at least 4 interceptions, at least 4 to 5 interceptions off C.J. Azeez should have at least 3. Stingley, 1 or 2. And what I mean by that is there's been some passes where he's just, it's just a pass breakup and not an interception. So with that being said, I'm watching CJ and I'm saying to myself, I get it. Like, I get it. Marquise, what's going on? Erlen, what's going on? I get it. I get it. He's learning. He's learning in real time. He's learning in real time. And it's different for him to learn compared to the offensive line learning, the running backs learning, the wide receivers learning, the tight ends learning. Because CJ has to know what everybody is doing. On top of coming to the line, reading the coverage, audibling out if he can't. I mean, if an audible is needed, because that is one thing that Nick Caley is going to let him do. He's going to be able to audible. It ain't going to be that I'm going to call a long drawn out play. Then by the time you get to the line, you can't audible out because there's no there's no good. I mean, I'm sorry, there's no time left for him to audible. Hey, CJ, here the plays. You know the audibles. Go on up there. Hey, let's get this thing going. That's how Nick Caley is. Hey, you know the play? Run it. If you need to change it, change it. One thing that I can see that has happened throughout the first 7 days of training camp and the first 3 days with the pads on is CJ has full autonomy of that offense. Nick Caley isn't micromanaging him. Nick Caley isn't looking over his shoulder. They're working together as a unit. CJ, Nick Caley, and Gerard Johnson. Now, later on today, I had an opportunity last Friday to speak with Gerard Johnson, and I asked him about CJ. I asked him about 3 good questions about CJ, and I'm going to put that out on the Texans Tailgate Talk YouTube channel. And make sure you all subscribe to that. Texas Tailgate Talk, all one word. But CJ is learning in real time. So when CJ has to know what the offensive linemen are going to do. CJ got to know what the tight end's going to do. CJ got to know what the wide receivers are going to do. And CJ has to know what the running back's going to do. On top of that, There's no Joe Mixon. So now you got Nick Chubb back there. Sure, you got Dare Ogunbowale that is getting rest, but you got Nick Chubb back there, and he's like, look, I used to watch Nick Chubb on television. So, watch him play when he was with the Cleveland Browns, but now he's with me. So now I'm learning in real time Nick Chubb. I'm learning in real time Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Christian Kirk. I'm learning these guys in real time. Brevin Jordan is back. I'm learning Brevin Jordan in real time. And so sometimes when CJ ain't taking the reps, he's watching. And he's talking to Nick Caley, and he's talking to Gerard Johnson, and he's getting the overall grasp and concept of things going on. He's watching the defense and watching what they're doing. He's looking at plays being called and saying, okay, when it's my turn to get back up there in my rep, I just seen something. I know that it's going to enhance once we get to that first unit, but I seen something that maybe I could do on that play that I know that Nico is going to do, and I can get him the ball, or Christian Kirk is going to do, and I can get him the ball. So I just think that the narrative around him, not taking a lot of reps and, some of the criticism that he's getting, I don't think that it's fair. And the reason why I don't think it's fair is because I got to give him a pass on some things. Now, once we get into the regular season, there's still going to be a learning curve. There's still going to be some things involved as far as him still, because yes, he's in training camp right now going up against a top 5 defense, and he's learning. But once you get into the games, it's going to be different. And remember, CJ ain't going to be playing a top 5 defense every week. He's not. He's going to play some good defenses this year, but he ain't going to be playing against a defense like his own every time. And when you go up against those type of defenses, that's when you know what? Let me go back and recall. Here we go. This is from I got notes right here from June from June 19th, when I did a show on Juneteenth, and the title of that was Texans have to hit the ground running early on offense throughout the first 8 games. And I broke down the first 8 games against the Rams, the Bucks, the Jags, the Titans, the Ravens, the Seahawks, the 49ers, and the Broncos. And when you look at those passing defenses from last year, the first 3 games against the Rams, Bucks, and Jags, they were 20th, 29th, and 32nd, respectively, as far as pass defense is concerned. 20th, 29th, and 32nd in NFL pass defense last year. The Rams gave up 223 yards, the Bucks gave up 243, and the Jags gave up 257. Now, I know that the Jags got Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter out of Colorado, and I don't know if he's going to play both sides of the ball. I don't know if he's just going to play cornerback. I've seen him at both when I've seen clips on social media, but even then, he's still a rookie. He still has to learn, and he still has to adapt to the NFL game. But these first 3 games, this is where, because don't get me wrong, I know that the Rams have a very good front 7, front 4 for sure. But they got a very good front 4, and they got a good front 7. So this pass defense, these pass defensive stats, I understand that it's just gonna we're gonna have to see how much time CJ is gonna have. But when you look at these rankings from last season, now I know that everybody gets better, but I don't think the Jags are gonna go from 32nd to top 5. I don't think that the Bucks are going to go from 29th to top 5. I don't think that the Rams are going to go from 20th to top 5. The Rams, Bucks, and Jags, they ain't got no Derek Stingley Jr. They ain't got no Kamara Lassiter, not from what I've seen. Then they play the Titans, who were 2nd in pass defense, giving up 177.3 yards per game. Then they play the Ravens, whose 31st ranking is it's kind of different. Now that's a top 5 defense that I feel. That's a top 5 defense I feel in the NFL. this year. And I think that, there's some funny things going on with this with this number, with them being ranked 31st. But when they start playing the Ravens, Seahawks, 49ers, and then the Broncos. So by the time they get to the Broncos, who I feel the Broncos have a top five, I feel that the Broncos have a top five defense. And you got PS2 over there. Lord, good Lord. But by the time CJ gets to this game, coming out of training camp, going up against another all-pro in Derek Stingley, he should have it together. He should have it together. But we got to give him time. We cannot keep rushing to say the sky is falling, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Even when I talk about the offensive line, and I think that they're one of the units that needs the most improvement. And I've said that on numerous occasions. I said that in OTAs. I said that in minicamp. I've said that through training camp. I still say, hey, give them time to gel together. Put 5 together and see what Cole Popovich can do with them. I still won't criticize them to the point where I think that the sky is falling. They've won some reps. They've lost some reps. But it's too early to say the sky is falling. It's too early to have this weird narrative when it comes to CJ Stroud. It's just a weird narrative. And I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, for these people who are saying this, y'all got some inside information? I don't. I don't have any inside information on CJ still nursing a shoulder injury. I haven't heard that. I don't know what it is. I'll be honest with you. I ain't been counting reps either. In my notes, you know what I put? Hey, I ain't got my phone with me. I would show y'all. In my notes, I put team 1. When they go to the first 11 on 11, team 1, I put who the offensive line unit is, and then I say run play, and then I describe what happened on the run play. These are notes that I can go back and when I'm talking to for myself, and I can talk to y'all. Run play, pass play, good breakup by number 4. Pass play, good catch by number 87. Number 2 number 2 defending. I don't go back and say, okay, so CJ had how many reps? Okay. And then Davis Mills had how many reps? And then what's the other quarterback's name? Slovis had how many reps? Graham Mertz had how many reps? I don't count reps, y'all. I'm sorry. But with that being said, let me be fair. Let me be fair. And I understand that fair is a place where you can get turkey legs and they judge livestock and they give ribbons out for livestock and you can get funnel cakes. And it's become very, very, very expensive. It is very expensive to go to a fair. But I understand that. Let me be fair. Everybody doesn't have the same observation system. So I'm not here to shoot slugs at nobody, because the way you observe and the way that you observe and the way that you look at it ain't the way that I look at it, ain't the way that DJ BNMA looks at it, Jonathan Alexander looks at it, Aaron Wilson looks at it. Like, the way that ain't the way. We all have our own different systems and ways of looking at things. You got one person who count reps. You got another person who counts completions and incompletions. You got another person who counts completions, incompletions, touchdown passes, interceptions, things like that. I don't do that. That's not my system. My system is I gotta watch. I don't care how many passes that CJ complete. I don't care about the incompletions. What happened on the play? What happened on the play? Did CJ complete a pass, but it would have been a sack? Did CJ get out of the pocket and use his legs more, which he has been doing, using his legs more, getting out of the pocket? Did CJ stand in the pocket and wait for things to develop? Did he take that chance? There was a big uproar about CJ not throwing down the field, and then I think the first play, I don't have my phone. My phone is charging, so that's where my notes is. But I think the first play, he's like, let's see what it do. We're gonna see what it do. I'm gonna throw this bomb. I'm gonna throw this deep bomb to Nico Collins. Yeah, I see Kamari right. I mean, I see Kalen Bullock right there, and I see CJ Gardner Johnson right there. Let me see if I can get it. And see, and Bullock almost picked it off. But those are the things that you do in camp. That's what you see. Hey man, let me give my receiver an opportunity to make a play, because there's going to be times where I may have to make that pass. So I want Nico to know, hey man, I'm going to make that pass. And then Nico know, well, hey, we went up against it. I remember this from practice. Let me make this necessary adjustment. That's the thing that you want to see. That's the thing that you want to see. Hey man, how much pressure is that defense getting on for that defensive front seven? Excuse me, getting on that offensive line. What is that front four doing? Hey, look, I know what Will and I know what Daniil is doing, but what is Tim Settle? Is Tim Settle? Because that battle, I'm going to be honest with you, that battle between Tim Settle and Titus Howard, that's a battle. Settle wins some reps, Titus wins some reps. But that's what I be paying attention to. Don't get me wrong. I'm looking at the tackles too, because I want to see what Ariante how he's progressing. So, just like last year, Blake Fisher was baptized by fire, because Blake Fisher was at the left tackle spot when Laramie wasn't practicing. He was baptized by fire by Daniil Hunter and by Will Anderson Jr. Ariante Ursery is getting the exact same thing. He's being baptized by fire. Do I expect a lot from him? You're going up against two guys who could be all pros. You're going up against one of the best, if not the best, defensive end tandem in the league. So you start out against Will, and then they flip-flop, and now you're in front of Daniil. And you're a rookie. You got 7 training camps under your belt. 7. 3 in pads. So I look at those different types of things. Hey, man, what is Darrell Taylor doing once he comes into the game? Dylan Horton, what is he looking like? Jamal Hill, how is he progressing as a linebacker? The rookies that I always ask about, Jalen Smith and Jalen Reed, what are they doing? Hey, man, Tremont Smith looks like he wants to make Tremont Smith is saying, hey, don't count me out just yet. I was looking at Keontae Hamilton, and he wasn't bad, but now he's out and probably going to be out for the season. And, prayers up to him. But, these are the type of things that I look at. So I'm not knocking anybody for the way that they observe. I just think that the narrative that is being put out there, the rhetoric that is being put out there about CJ Stroud, and up to this point, I just don't think that I don't think that it's right. I can't tell you that whatever metrics you're using to observe and whatever you think is wrong, all I'm going to say is I think it's weird. Because there's too many other factors that you have to throw in. There's too many other factors that you have to throw in to the mix before all of that, before the worrying about his shoulder or worrying about the amount of reps. JJ Watt, former Houston Texans, Defensive end. What was JJ? 4-time defensive player of the year, if I'm not mistaken. JJ was 4-time defensive player of the year. 3 times, 4 times. I don't know. I don't know how many times JJ was, but JJ Watt came out and said in a long post on Twitter the other day, he said, sometimes when y'all are watching these training camps, you got to take into consideration that one, you don't know what they're working on, and two, you don't know what they're working on. You don't know what they're working on. So just because CJ isn't passing, the install for that day could be run plays. And let me take that back. Just because CJ is not throwing deep, the install may not call for that. Maybe that's for another day. Maybe that's not for maybe that's not the install for the first team. Maybe that's the install for the second team. Maybe they're flip-flopping. Maybe we don't know the install. Once again, you can only report on what you see. I'm not knocking anybody for their observations. I'm not knocking anybody for their observations. I'm not telling you can't say what you're saying. I'm not saying you can't say the narrative that you're saying. I just think that it's weird. Me, Sarge. Sarge thinks that it's weird. And I'm not, I can't buy into it because I can't. So for me, when I can't process something, I take a step back and I say, is it me? And why can't I process it? I'll take a step back and because one of my favorite sayings that I came up with, that I like to say is, hey, stop looking at the selfie and look at the panoramic view. There's a lot of people who just look at the selfie and that's all they see is the selfie. When if you look at the panoramic view, you'll see the bigger picture. You'll see the bigger picture if you look at the panoramic view. So when I can't process something, I automatically think, wait a minute, I'm looking at the selfie. Let me take a step back and look at the panoramic view. Okay, I'm seeing the panoramic view. And even as I'm looking at the panoramic, even with me looking at the panoramic view, I'm still saying to myself, hey, this is a weird narrative. Especially 7 days into training camp. The amount of reps. So does CJ need a ton of reps to prove that he's a starter? Do we need to see CJ take a ton of reps to know that he is the starting quarterback? I mean, because if we're counting the reps and we're saying the backups are getting more, the other quarterbacks are getting more reps than CJ Stroud. So what's the next narrative that's about to come out of quarterback controversy? We're about to say CJ may be in fear of his job because Davis Mills is getting more reps than him, or that Mertz or the Slovis is getting more reps than CJ Stroud. Is that the next narrative? I just need to know so I can prepare myself. Do not get me wrong. I understand how this game is played. And I'm talking about this media game. I'm talking about this content creation game. I know how it's played. I know what can get the likes and the retweets and the comments and the subscriptions. And I know how the game is played. I could play the game at the pro level. That's not the game I want to play. Because when you start playing that type of game, right? When you start playing that type of game, then you put yourself on a road to where you put yourself on a road where it's hard for you to come back from. Real quick, let me give you an example. There was a young man, I can't think of his name, but he's a very, 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 very big streamer, right? Very, very big streamer. I can't remember his name. and he went on an interview with the Breakfast Club, right? He went on an interview with the Breakfast Club, and they called him out on all of the racist things that he had said in the past. They had the receipts. They had the receipts. They had all the racist things that he had said in the past. And he said, "That's not me anymore. I've changed. I'm not that guy anymore. I've changed. I'm not that person. I'm not doing that. I've changed." And they said, "Well, that's cool, but this still exists. And you were here. This was just what, 2 years ago that you were saying these things, and now all of a sudden you're not saying them anymore." And so now he's still a big streamer, but there's opportunities that are being taken away from him now because they're starting to show these things. They're starting to show the pattern of the things that the things that you said and you use in order to get the status that you have now, to get the notoriety that you have now, to become one of the biggest streamers in the game. And I know for a fact that he just lost a real big opportunity. He just lost a huge opportunity because of those things. Do we all have a past? We do. Have we all done things that we're not proud of? Of course. Something I deal with on a consistent basis, making sure that I ask for forgiveness for them things that I did in the past. And I was just like, bro, that's somebody's sister, that's somebody's daughter that you broke their heart, knowing that love bombing, ain't that what they call it? You love bombed her. Now I got, wait, 1, 3, 5 daughters and 4 granddaughters. But I warn them, I could see from the get, hey, no, not him. Not him. No. Now, 3 of them are married. Three of my and I have 1 biological daughter and 4 stepdaughters. And 3 out of the 4 stepdaughters are married. So, yeah, with that being said though, as I digress, that's why I don't go down these roads of hot takes and clickbait and all that other stuff. When I say something, I truly believe it. And if I say it and I believe it, and I'm telling you what I observe and I believe it, I'm gonna stand on it. But if I just throw something out there so I can get, a bunch of likes and retweets and shares and all that other stuff, then when that stuff comes back around, now I'm like, oh yeah, I was just saying that, y'all. I ain't really believe it. No, hell no, I'm not gonna deceive you. If I say it, I believe it. Especially when we're opinionated. I just had a conversation with my nephew this morning about KD. Hey man, look, I respect your opinion. I just disagree with it. If that's your opinion, that's yours. I'm not telling you you're wrong about your opinion. You can't tell me I'm wrong about mine. We're not even talking about facts. We're just talking about opinions. So I could push the narrative and be hot takey and clickbait. I could be first take. I could be first take if the amount of money that Stephen A. Smith is making, the amount of money is the amount of money that Stephen A. Smith is making motivated me to do that type of stuff, I could do it. So when I say something that some consider clickbait or controversial or whatever the case may be, I stand on it and I believe it. Them dudes that be on TV, they don't be, but I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. That's a character. That's a character. Sarge is who I am. My government name is Brian Bearfield, of course, but Sarge is who I am. This ain't no character. This is who I am. This is how I'm remembered. This is going to be part of my legacy. That and, of course, I'm on a screw tape. March Madness. I ain't rapping. I'm just talking. I've had my name mentioned on PTI on ESPN with Kornheiser and Wilborn. Some other things. That's going to be in I served in the United States Army. Went to a historically black college or university. In my dash in between the time I was born and the time I passed away, my dash is going to be obese. And Sarge is part of that legacy. So when I'm gone, I don't want nobody to be like, man, that dude Sarge, man, you don't like me, if you disagree with some of the things I say, hey, look, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that. There's a lot of people that I like that I disagree with, and I just keep it moving because it's their opinion. So you got to learn to respect opinions and disagree with them. So as I digress, right? As I digress, I understand what it's for. I understand that this narrative that's being pushed about CJ, I understand why. I understand why it's being done. I just think that it's weird that it's being done. I just think that it's weird that it's being done. Because there's too many other factors when it comes to that specific position. That one, that specific position, that quarterback position is why they get paid. Listen, that's why quarterbacks get paid the most. That's why they always call franchise quarterback. Listen, if Bo Nix balls out for the Denver Broncos, right? If he balls out for the Denver Broncos, you know what he's going to be called? A franchise quarterback. Patrick Surtain could have 12 all-pro years, 4 defensive players of the year, and they're never going to call him a franchise cornerback. That franchise is reserved only for the quarterback. I've never heard of franchise defensive end. Hey, man, that dude was a franchise defensive end. What does that even mean? Oh, that guy right there is a franchise wide receiver. That doesn't even sound right. Did you just mix 2 languages? Franchise is reserved for the quarterback. Hands down. When last time you heard somebody say that's a franchise left tackle? What's the young man's name out in Trent? What's his name out of San Francisco? That's considered the best, one of the best all-time left tackles in the game. I can't think of his name right now. Of his name right now. But Trent Williams, thank you. Trent Williams is a man amongst boys. He is great at that position. He's great at that position. Great. I ain't never heard nobody call him a franchise left. Hey, that's a franchise left tackle right there. No. They just call him, hey, that's one of the best tackles they ever play in the game, or that's the best tackle in the game. They don't even say that when they talk quarterback. That right there is reserved for like the other position players. They don't say, hey, man, that's the best quarterback in the game right now. No, they be like, hey, look, that's a franchise quarterback right there. Because that franchise entails not only for your team, but how they look at you in the NFL. So, and plus, hey, look, hold on, y'all. Wait, whoa, time out. Let me take a step back. No, Trent Williams is a franchise. Trent Williams is a franchise left tackle. And I say that because Trent Williams lives in Texas in the off season, and he got family members in Houston, and I ain't trying to get jacked up. Boy, I don't look. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. Then we're gonna get up out of here. So my cousin cuts my hair, right? My cousin cuts my hair to shop. And before he moved from his old shop to the shop he's at now, and I'm pretty sure he still cuts this young man's hair. I'm not for sure. I just think that we go on different days. So one day I walk to the barber shop. Boom. See this massive man getting his hair cut. It's like that. All right. Big dude in there, right? So I walk in. My cousin say, hey, cuz, hey, what you think about Trent Williams? I said, the left tackle that played for the 49ers? It's like, yeah. I said, oh, he a dog. That's a man amongst boys. Like he is the best. He's the best in the game. Top 5 at his position. Gonna go down probably as top 10 all time. Like, hey, that dude's a dog. And so the dude in the chair started laughing, right? The dude in the chair started laughing. And then he raises up a little bit so my cousin can stop. He said, hold on, man. He raised up a little bit and he started laughing. He say, hey, you see how shady your kinfolk is, man? He tried to set you up. I'm Trent Williams' brother. I said, cousin, you trying to get me beat up in here? Y'all don't let that. Y'all really don't let that fire come up in the barbershop. Y'all got it on y'all, but you don't really want the customers to have it on them. So you about to you trying to get me beat up in here? This Trent Williams' brother is a big guy. I said, man, you try to set me up, man. Try to set me up. So yes, Trent Williams is a franchise left tackle. Clip that up and send it to him. So, because I don't want no smoke going around the city of Houston. I digress. CJ is going to be okay. CJ is going to be okay. No matter the amount of reps that he's taken, there's no injury that I know of, and I've talked to a lot of people behind the scenes. There's no injury, no lingering injury that I know of. And if it is, they're keeping that thing under wraps. There's no lingering injuries. It's just a young man going into his 3rd year of being a quarterback, and learning a new system, a new offensive coordinator, 4 new offensive linemen, 3 new wide receivers, 1 tight end that he had for a second, then he lost him. Now he's back. And he going up against a top 5 defense. He's got to do all that, learning in real time, all the while playing against a defense that in their mind, there's like, hey, CJ, you our teammate, but no, we out here trying to get it. That defense be trying to get it. That defense is trying to get it all the time. I see what you said. I see what you said, Tay. So, yeah. Hey, stay right there. Don't move. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I gotta end this show. But I'm coming right back to get to you all's comments. Oh my God. I almost forgot. Something new to me, y'all. It's something new to me. I forgot. I got a sponsor.
Hi, Laura Williams coming to you here from Easy Honda. Just want to remind you that this is my new home, and here at Easy Honda, we are here to take care of all your vehicle needs. From new vehicles to pre-owned vehicles, we've got what you are looking for. And if you're a business and you're looking for vehicles, we've got a great selection here at our dealership. For any information on getting your next vehicle here at Easy Honda, you can reach me at 281-224-3666. Remember to ask for Laura Williams. We make it easy here at Easy Honda.
So used to doing the Texans Happy Hour and talking about my other sponsor for the Texans Happy Hour that I forgot for the podcast. We actually have a sponsor. She gonna kill me. Yeah, she gonna be like, Sarge. I'm gonna be like, cause I got so much respect for Laura, and she's a great person, y'all. She's very, very good. She's a great person. great person with a great big heart, and she's willing to help any way you can. I mean, I think one time I went to Laura with a 250 credit score and still was able to get a vehicle. Ain't not have been 250. Probably was like 275 though. Hey, but I had good down payment. Been tuned to Texas Tailgate Talk podcast. Make sure you follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end. Make sure you follow me on the Tick and the Talk at Big Sarge Media. Subscribe to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and YouTube channel. All one word, Texas Tailgate Talk. All one word. This is crazy. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Big Sarge Sports with the Z at the end, because you know we do everything for the gram. And make sure you go to www.bigsargemedia.com to read all of my articles. Got one coming out on Gerard Jordan on Friday morning. Big Sarge, I'm out. Big Sarge. All right, y'all. I'm back. I didn't read all of the comments while I was getting in the show, because that's the actual podcast that I'm going to put out, and that's the audio. And heading into the regular season, we're definitely going to incorporate more of the comments. So let me jump back in and look at some of these comments. Y'all know. Erlen, hey, stranger. Long time no see. Let me jump in here and see. This was CJ's second off season. He's still trying to figure it out. Yep. Senior Bobley. Yep. What's up, JB Allen? What's up, everyone? Let's talk Texans Swarm. Of course. Let me see. To be fair, defense probably has more talent than the offense. That is true. Please, I don't want to butcher the name. It looks like it's Khalil. Please tell me the pronunciation. Break it down to me, because I don't want y'all to see me read with my finger. Khalil. Any quarterback in the league would probably struggle if they were in his situation. Yeah, they got a strong defense. See what Tina has to say. They put their trust in CJ for a reason. He is brilliant. He's a smart guy in general, and his football IQ is crazy. CJ is going to be one to take us all the way. People need to stop with these narratives. Marquis says, can we all agree the defense, who is bringing back almost everyone, is easily top 3? I would be more surprised if CJ was interested in having problems going off on them, or if he was having going off on them. Gotcha. Did I? Hold on. Let me see. No. Hold on. No, it's Texans. Hold on. Make sure you got the right one. Let's see. This is it right here. Texans Tailgate Talk. At Texans Tailgate Talk. That's it. I don't know what's going on. I don't have a clue. But it's Texans Tailgate Talk. Yeah, it's Texans, not Texas. Texans tailgate talk. And if you're saying Texas tailgate, you know what? Let's just look it up. I got time. It's an off day today. The only thing I got to do is start packing. Let's see, Texas tailgate talk. Mm. Yeah, so I see that there's a Texas tailgate talk. I see that. I don't see a Texans. So I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know. Larry, what's up, Doc? Brandon is crazy. Truth over facts says, how does this year's offense look versus last year in training camp? Truth over facts, first of all, welcome. I can't give you an answer on that because it's too new. It's too new. Hold on for a second, y'all. It's too new. So I can't tell you what, because I don't know what the offense is supposed to look like from a play calling standpoint yet. Like I got to see the plays being ran consistently. So I can answer it from a talent standpoint if that's what you're asking me, truth over facts, but I can't give you an answer on the look, because every time I'm looking at it, every day that I observe it is something new, because it's brand new. If this was the third year of like Bobby Slowick's system, then I could tell you what it was like. I don't have anything to compare it to. This is Nick Caley's first year calling plays, so I don't have anything to compare it to. What's up, D'Angelo? Right, exactly, Damon. I've heard type 2 AC joint separation versus Jets that may have extended to type 3 later in the season. He got hurt in the Ravens game. Definitely got hurt. What's up, Reverend? No JP, no training camp today. Yes, here is the real deal. Romanus, what's going on? For sure. For sure. What you say, Reverend? Reverend Brooks Sr. said, we put far too much stock in these daily training camp reports anyway. As fans, we should really just enjoy the clips and not take it too seriously, not even the preseason game. Well, there are some things that we have there's some things that I think that you should take from the daily training camps, as far as, you know, from a fundamental standpoint, from a standpoint of just them getting better overall playing football, them being back in pads, you know, the reps that are being the reps that are being done on the offense and the defensive side. Oh, that was his name, huh? Neon. Gotcha. Uh mm, I gotcha. DQ, what's going on? Uh I see what you said, 119. I see what you said. I see what you said. Let me see. What else? Trent Williams from Longview. Uh if the barber got that fired in, I too shall be in possession of the yeet cannon. It's the law of the land. Yeah, and that's my blood cousin, so he wasn't gonna let nothing happen to me. But you know, he be thinking that'd be funny. Let me see what else. I think our receiver core will be better than last year. I do too. I believe it. For sure. They done bootlegged me, man. It's Sarge on Tubi. uh let's see, CJ will have an easier time in West Virginia than he's been having here at home. I think so too. Ashy Knuckles. Bel Air to Trey, baby. Man, I love that screen name, man. Bel Air to Trey, baby. I like that. I forgot to say what you was gonna say. Are the backs receiving well out of the backfield? Yes. 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 And talking with Gerard Jordan on yesterday, he was saying that Nick Caley gives them an opportunity to be more involved in the offense, not just in the running game, but in the passing game as well. So yeah, man. Yeah. And for those of y'all who are just joining, we just finished the show. Make sure you can go back and watch it again or listen and subscribe to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast and to the YouTube page. I got to all of, I've gotten that show done. I have to edit and put it out, but I do want you all to subscribe to the Texas Tailgate Talk podcast, Texas Tailgate Talk YouTube channel, because I'm about to drop some videos over there. I still have a lot of exclusive content that I'm glad that the Texans are off today, so I can get a lot of that out. I still got video from cornerbacks coach Dino Vasso talking about Kamari Lassiter. I have exclusive interview with Stephen Adegoji, the safeties coach, talking about Jalen Reed. I got the press conference question that I asked to Derek Stingley about Jalen Smith. I got the press conference question that I asked to Jalen Petrie. The exclusive that one-on-one that I did with Gerard Jordan, the exclusive that was with Henry Toa. And I'm just telling you all this because I want you to make sure that you don't miss out. And listen, y'all, I'm excited. I'm excited to go to West Virginia. I never been to West Virginia for a training camp. I wasn't covering the team. Well, I was covering the team, but I didn't have the access that I have now. So I've never been to Greenbrier, never been to West Virginia. And so there was another place that I heard that the Texans want to go, but it was already taken. Oh, if they'd have went there, it'd been so much fun. I love being out. I love visiting the West Coast. I don't know if I could live on the West Coast, but I love being on the West Coast. Well, if they'd have got that, maybe that's next year. It was Ohio last year, West Virginia this year. Maybe next year it'd be the West Coast. Maybe they can put it in early. We can go there. Or, I mean, they got good weather on the East Coast too. Hey, who they got next year? What I gotta go look at their schedule. Are they in the preseason? They got the preseason out to see who they playing. Maybe they could do a joint practice. I never been to Detroit either, so I'm looking forward to going to Detroit when they practice and play against the against the Detroit Lions. That's going to be interesting. But I'm looking forward to getting to West Virginia so I can get some more one-on-ones for you guys and put out that content. Yep. Detroit has a fun downtown. I'm on these skills. I'm gonna see, Cody Davis, who was the former host of Locked On Texans. He moved to Detroit to work for the Detroit News. He now covers the Detroit Pistons, and he covers, from time to time, the Detroit Lions. And so we'll get an opportunity to see him and catch up with him. That's gonna be good. I told him, hey man, look, don't get in my rental car thinking we're gonna play out Michael Jackson, because we're not doing that. That's not what we're not doing. Them Foggy Hills. J-Rock, the Foggy Hills in West Virginia. Only been through West Virginia once. My line brother and I took a sabbatical, and we drove from Texas and then went to Atlanta when my mom was leaving. And then we just made a circle and came back to Houston. And we drove through the Appalachian Mountains. And I was like, hey, bro, if you don't hurry up and get me out these mountains, bruh, if you don't hurry up and get me out these damn mountains, are you crazy? Bro, this is weird. This, bro, it is a eerie feeling driving through those Appalachian Mountains. And I'm so glad we drove through today. Amy, you don't miss no Cody. Talking about we miss Cody. I'm so glad that we drove through the Appalachian Mountains. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm so glad we drove through there during the day. Yeah, while I'm up there now, I might just say Randy Moss, my cousin. Hey, what you doing up here? Well, I'm here covering the Texans, but Randy Moss, my cousin, though. Third cousin removed from the Vikings when he played for the Vikings. What? Yeah. So, like, okay, so before he went to the Patriots, right? I mean, when he went to the Patriots, he was like my third cousin, fourth removed when he went to the Patriots, right? We're not even counting the Raiders. I mean, we don't count that lineage. But yeah, Randy Moss is my third cousin removed from my mama's side from the Vikings. I gotta find me something to do. Nah, I got something to do, y'all. Casino bars and all the stadiums are downtown. Keep your head on the swivel when you leave downtown, though. Yeah, I think I'm staying down. Hey, look, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I fly in Wednesday. They have the joint practice Thursday. They fly in Wednesday. They have the joint practice Thursday. And then they have the game. I think the game is Saturday, but I think it's at noon. I think I fly out of Detroit coming back to Houston that Saturday night. I gotta look. Yeah, I may be able to get out and I'm gonna hang out with Cody. Yes, Amy, he is serious about his Michael Jackson. All right, y'all. Thank you all for joining the Texans Tailgate Talk Show. Texans Tailgate Talk Show. I ain't trying to say that quick. Don't nobody else tell you that wait, hold on. Nick Casario coach cousin Randy Moss when he had the 25 touchdown season. That's right. When he's with the Patriots. Yeah. You know what? Thank you, 119. Thank you. You just gave me an idea. Thank you. You just gave me an idea. I might get an exclusive interview for you all. Well, at least an answer. Yeah. Appreciate that. Don't nobody else tell y'all that they love you today. I do. Bring it in. Let Big Sarge give you a hug. I'm out.